we're going to take this battery box and we're going to make it out of plywood. So I've got this plywood. It's just standard plywood because we're going to be epoxying it anyway, and it's 9mm thick. And I got the best sheets I could find at B&Q. Not known for their quality, B&Q, but they are known for their convenience and the ability to go get stuff straight away. So there we go. Now, because these sheets are now 9mm thick, we've got to start taking into account that into our calculations. So that's what we're going to be building. So what, 2, 4, 6, 7 pieces in total with these dimensions. So we're going to mark off 42 there. And then, there we go. Trust the set square on this one, let's do it. Just need to stand up on there. Our shelf, we've got our front and back, and we've got over here our 2 sides. Look at those, they are beautifully straight. Oh man, I can't get over it. And then look at I just got to show you this. I know it's nothing to do with sailing, but look at these are the offcuts. Look how perfect those offcuts are. You know, I've got a little box of offcuts up there that I never throw anything away. Okay, here's the completed box. So I've actually just sellotaped it together to check it all fits. It's a really good fit. There's just a tickle of a gap here, but that'll be all right. We can fill those little gaps. For some reason, the sides here I cut just a tickle too short, but actually they're not too bad. They're not too bad at all, just a mil. This is the shelf, so that will go in like that and slide in, and we'll need to put some little sort of, I don't know, little blocks either side, which we'll do before we tie that together. And this is going to be the top. So at the moment I don't know how we're going to do this, but what I do know is there needs to be some kind of gasket around here. Next job will be to work out where this shelf is going to go, and we can do that now. I've got the battery here, so here we go. The battery's going to drop in. Now remember what I said, the box is going to be a little bit wider than the mock-up by 2 centimeters, 1 centimeter each side. Now the reason for that is that we wanted to be able to get this through the gap, but also have some decent blocks in there for the shelf. So let's just try and get the shelf in. Let's just try and do the way around. There we go. That's a bit better. There we go. So we don't need this to be sitting on the top. So what we can do, I know that if we do that 8 centimeters, this side 8 centimeters. So if we do that, the top of this 8 centimeters minus the 0.9, so let's call that 9 centimeters, 8 plus this, the top of the blocks need to be 9 centimeters. So I was hoping to use these little plastic blocks. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use these 30mm by 4 size screws. Now you may notice they're going to go straight through the board and out the other end, but because this board's so thin, I want to use the whole board. So I'm going to screw them in, and I'm just going to then cut the ends of the screw off, because I'm going to then give this a couple of layers of fiberglass for watertighting, and that will solve that. So they don't need to be waterproof. These screws are quite waterproof actually, but there we go. So I can then put, I only need two, 1, 2 each side, and that should keep the shelf honest. The other thing I want to do is obviously utilize these so they'll go in the sides. Now, one of the reasons why I did the box with the sides on the outside was to give us that room we need. So now I know these will be on the outside, but up here for the shelf, you can see that this box will easily go in between them. But what we probably now need is a set of these at the bottom here, just to help locate. We can do them, maybe better to do them the soft way around, yeah. So we can locate this in here, just to stop the box from moving about. You can see, I've just got to be mindful I can't put one there because of the switches, but we could just put one there, like that. And that will just stop the unit going fore and aft, and side to side. I think that'll be enough. And then we can always put a little bit of, I mean, you know, there's still got the ability to kind of go like that, but I think the shelf's going to be low enough to stop that happening. There's almost a little bit of a bumper there, and then what we can do, we can actually use some sponge sides and top just to keep the battery honest. I've got loads of sponge we can use just to keep it nice and secure. So that's going to be the idea. So we're looking at the back here, and I just want to, I've plugged in everything that I think we'll ever need to plug in to charge the battery. This would be a solar stroke 12 volt lead. This is the 12 volt output. I think it will accept an input actually as well. And this is the 240 volt input. And this is the back. Let's just move that out of the way. And the back would be like that. And then they'd go up a little hole, probably as high as possible. So we want to push this back now as much as we dare, whilst keeping as much space in the front as possible. Yeah, so it's this middle car vault one that isn't ideal, but I don't think I'm ever going to need to use that, I'm not going to lie. And it's really flaky and it's not very waterproof. So for now, what I'm going to do, yeah, I think that's just about right. Am I really ever going to need this? Let's have a look at that, see. Am I ever really going to need this in here? It'd be nice to have the option, because that could charge from a little 12 volt cable here to here. So I go like that, and then it'll slide back. And then the final thing is to put these two little blocks, let me spin this around to make it easier, was to put these two little blocks like there and there, I think. I could put one in the middle, but let's put one, let's put two on the outsides here. I think that'll be a bit safer. But here are the two tops. And remember, we said the top of this will need to be 9. I mean, there's only one way to find out. We'll just stick them in here and here like that, and we will see if they fit when we stick it all back together. If not, we can move them, so it's not a big deal. There we go. That's the other side done. So what we can now do is put the box back together, and let's see if the shelf works and the battery itself works, and you know, just the whole concept works. We'll also then work out where we're going to put a few little holes in this as well. Okay, so here's a box just made up. I haven't put the back on. Here's the shelf. Oh, we need the battery. Oh. So the battery would go in like this. So you can see it just goes in nice and easy, and then a little push down to locate it. That's brilliant. And then the shelf will go down like that. There we go, and sit on those. They're slightly wonky. Oh, no, they're not, they're fine. Maybe a tickle, that one's a little high. But there we go, that's the concept. Now, what I need to do now is look at the shelf. I'm gonna put in a little handle of string so I can lift the shelf out more easily. And I'm going to cut a hole in it. And I think we can just do a very small round hole in it here. And that way we can, in fact I might do a round hole back and forth, because we could then feed the cables up through here, and then the cables can come out in and out of the top, because that's less likely to get some water. Right, so I've marked these holes out quite close. Let's just see if that's going to be too close. No, I think that will be perfect actually. I've got my little hole cutter, small sized one, and we can go there. I don't want them to be too in, because otherwise we might struggle for space. So I think this will do. There we go. There we go. Actually, that's cut through really nicely. So this will now, well, let's go and have a look how that will fit. Here we are. So that will now fit in here. And then these would just stick through here. They'll just come through here. And into the tray, which will be the charging tray. There we go. Obviously this cable, this USB cable would be a bit longer. I don't know why I've gone and picked up the shortest USB cable I could find there. There you go. And then these will just go in here. I didn't want to bore you with all the screwing and whatnot. So these are now screwed in. So when these go, that should seat itself inside the box. And I've staggered them a little bit, because that way you can kind of wiggle them in a bit more easily. And then this is the top of the top. Obviously the screws will be shaved off. And then I've just drilled a little hole, which I will fill with epoxy. And that's just a bit of string. So when the lid's in, you've got something you can just sort of pop the lid off with. That string might be a little bit long, I don't know. We'll epoxy it so it will stay out there, but even if it did fall in, it'll do that. But I want to seal that up. So there we go. So that's the top done. Right, we're in the workshop. The saw's folded away. I'm so chuffed with that saw. It's like amazing. Yeah, it's really made these box cuts so easy, and I've got a ton of other stuff I'm going to use it for. Now we've got the radiator in here. As you can probably tell, it's a tiny little space to warm up. It is actually 10 degrees. It is insulated, this. I put loads of insulation in here, so you know, knowing that I'd have tools in here, things like that. So 10.3 degrees is great temperature for the fast West Systems hardener, but I'm just going to get the temperature up a little bit, just so we can, just because I think 10 degrees is really on the limit of what you want. Maybe 12 to 15 somewhere will be perfect for an overnight harden. So with that said, I've got to change the battery in the GoPro, because for some reason this brand new charged battery is at like 10%. And then we will take you through, I will take you through all the epoxying we're going to do now. The temperature's actually up to 12 degrees now. I can feel it really getting warm in here. It's getting to the point, you know, where it feels a bit warmer than 12 degrees. Although I'm so used to like minus blooming whatever at the moment that 12 degrees is like summer. First job we're going to do is lift off all these parts. Wait, one way. So that's all the wood ready to go. Right, the first job now is to just prep the wood. And I'm just going to put a little bit of acetone on it. I think you just pull that out. That's right, yeah. Just make sure the wood's nice and clean. And there's no, obviously I've been sanding it. Oh, blimey, that was hard work. So first job is that. This is the only wood I've got to do. Oh, the other thing I'm going to do is kind of epoxy that little bit of string in as well. So we'll just get a nice pad of this going. Again, acetone's also not particularly nice stuff to get on your skin. If nothing else, it's super dry and you know, it really dries your skin out. I need somewhere to put these. There we go. Sorry. And you've got to be careful of the fumes this stuff gives off as well. So I'm mindful that I'm going to be quite quick. There we go. Let's move that one out of the way. Now, I haven't primed these pumps yet. So that's going to be the next job, is to prime these two pumps. So let's have a go. Let that fill up. Oh, see, I think that's proper primed. Yeah. They do say your first batch, just do something else. Hang on, I'm just going to turn that around because it seems to naturally want to come to there. I'm just going to prime the hardener. I'm using the 205 hardener. That's the fastest hardener. And the reason I'm using that is it's blooming cold. In the middle of summer, you wouldn't use this. You would, you know, you can use, I think, 206, and I think there's another one. There might be a 204 and a 206. I think 206 is really, really slow, but you would use that in the summer or in hot climates where, you know, where this possibly would only give you like 2 or 3 minutes pot time. So I'm hoping it's not going to be too hot in here. I'm actually going to switch that off now. And it's 14.5 degrees, that's perfect. Now I've just mixed that up so I know it'll go off, and I'm just going to put that to one side to set and harden. And now we're going to do the real thing. So it's 5 to 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. This would normally be a bit too much for me. 5. But I think these little cups have got really good little, and then one of those. And there's a tiny bubble in there. I'm just going to give it a tickle more. So we're going to start, yep, that's dry. So we're going to start with this. And all we're going to do is give it a coat of resin. And then what I might put on the bottom here is like a little rubber gasket, so you can really tighten it up against the deck. There we go, that'll do for that. And then all I'm going to do is where I've been touching it, I'll just get that out. Great place to leave my drill. I can feel this epoxy going already. Right. Okay, which way around did these go? This way. So here's the first, this is the first there we go. By doing this, I'm also getting a little bit of epoxy in the holes here, so these little brackets will stay on, behave themselves. Just keep it glued down, and we can give that a little dab as well, like that. I'm just going to run it in with this little cup, and hopefully we can get it small enough just to go into the hole, and just fill that up, and we'll fill it to the top. Oh gosh, yes, it doesn't take much. We'll fill that to the top, and then when we come to put the little cup in for the TP10, we'll just re-drill it. There we go. Let's take my gloves off, and oh god, God, I've sweat in those things. And then we're going to put these things back in, being really careful not to get them like all over my hands. But it should be fairly simple and easy to get these back in. There we go, all on. Just got to let those dry, probably take overnight. Don't think we have to do anything with these. Hopefully nothing will dry in there and block them up. But there's nothing in the instructions that says that. And then this is drying over here. So, it's actually my first major epoxying jolly. So, yeah, for me this is all new. You're learning with me. Hopefully that's worked. If it hasn't, it hasn't. But tomorrow, or well, in the next video, we'll be able to then stick the box together, get the rest of it epoxied up, and then we'll have the box, and we'll start thinking about how we're going to get it affixed to the blocks. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.